Former Rikers Island officers speak out. I was recently contacted by a couple of retired Rikers Island officers, not too far removed from working, who still have very close inside contacts with officers at Rikers Island. They asked me to keep their names anonymous, and I will. I will not tell you their names. They trusted me enough to reach out to me to send out a message for them. And I'm going to honor that, and I'll never give their names. You'll have to decide if what they are telling me is the truth. I, for one, believe all these things they've told me going on is true. Number one, Mayor de Blasio himself is violating policies and procedures at Rikers Island. How is he doing that, I asked him? Well, cell doors are not locking. Main doors that are leading out to corridors and hallways are not operating properly. And inmates are running around, running the show at Rikers Island. Many of you know this already if you're in the corrections field. But a lot of people on the outside don't know this. They're only hearing the one-sided story from Mayor de Blasio and the politicians. He has a hidden agenda. Now, we're going to talk about all the things that are happening to the officers at Rikers, all the bad things. Because all we're hearing on the media is how it's poor environment for the inmates, Rikers. Okay, how about the officers and all the things they're going through right now and what they're doing? Let me just start out with the mayor's hidden agenda, according to what they're telling me. The Mayor de Blasio, does not want Rikers Island to be successful. A lot of people know that. He wants it to fail. He's not providing any funds for new officer equipment. He's not allowing management to go ahead and order new locks for the cell doors. Because if you go back to 2018, as I was told, you're going to find some news articles and some videos where the mayor was told if he'll shut down Rikers, he'll be given money by celebrities and some big real estate people to build new jails in the 5 boroughs. Well, Staten Island said, no way, we're not going to let you build over here. That would leave him 4 boroughs, Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn. Mayor de Blasio sees dollar signs right now, folks. He's not in the interest of protecting the officers, nurses, medical staff inside that jail. He only just came to tour the jail the other day because of the peer pressure from the media and outside people. He wouldn't have gone to see that. And even though he did go there, word that was just updated to me before I did this video is he did not go down deep into the dark underbelly of Rikers jail. He went where management wanted him to go. What he should have done is gone down in there with one of these dorms where the inmates are running it and sat in there and looked around for a while. Probably would have got some sound advice from the inmates, I'm sure. He didn't do that. He's not going to do that. He doesn't know what the officers are going through. His best interest is not for the officers. Okay? Now, I'm going to use my notes because I want to do these people right, these officers right. They're speaking now as retired Rikers officers who want to speak in behalf of the officers inside Rikers now. So I hope I'm going to do them good, okay? Inmates are popping their cell doors open because of the bad locks, getting out, running the show, telling the officers what to do. And the officers are being written up for allowing the inmates out of their cells. I was told they're even popping some of the main doors and getting out into the hallways. And then the officers are being written up. Now, if you don't fix the problem, how can you write up the officers for this? And I'm being told this is happening. This is very sad. This is very sad. This is politicians versus the officers and tying the officers' hands. Very dangerous position they're putting the officers in. Okay? I am being told that officers are working 24 hours and 30 hours. Now, I did a video a while back from another former officer who told me they were working 30 hours. These officers are telling me they're working 24-hour shifts. And then when they have to call in sick just to get a break, they're being written up and suspended for 30 days, suspensions. How is that going to fix the problem? You are punishing the officers for an environment that you allowed to fester and build over the years. And now you want to punish the officers with suspension? What about the ones that have to cover now for those officers you suspended? How are they going to survive doing all these hours and all these days' work? You're not fixing the problem by doing that. You need to fix the problem by getting some more staff in there. If you have to, put some of those supervisors down there to help. At feeding time, count time. Get some of those supervisors down there out of their office and off their rear ends and have them help. Not saying that there's not some white shirts over there that are doing that. But I'm also told that a lot of the white shirts, I didn't say all, at Rikers, when officers come to them with these problems, hey, the cell doors aren't working. We can't keep them locked in. I got to have a day off. I've got to see the doctor and have a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment. They can't get their days off. They tell them, this is what you signed up for. One of the worst answers I've hated my entire 28.8 year career in corrections, when a supervisor pushes you out of the way with your problem with an answer, this is what you signed up for, going back to work. That's a cop-out. Maybe those supervisors' hands are tied, which I think they are, because management is having to bow down to the mayor not helping at all and doing what the mayor wants. But still, as a supervisor, you have to have the intestinal fortitude to say, screw that mayor. These are my people. These are my officers. I'm going to help you in any way I can. Not that there aren't some supervisors there that are doing that, but there's a lot of them just brushing it off and saying this is what you signed up for. That's a cop-out answer. Another cop-out answer is telling people you don't like it, leave. I hate that answer just as much as the first answer. You're not fixing anything by giving your officers these type of answers. That's trash. That's a trash answer, and it makes me think you're trash. Sorry, I'm retired as well. I can say what I want. So those are some of the problems that are going on. Other issues are that not only is the mayor thinking, I'm going to get some money. There's allegations I'm going to get money to build new jails out of this. There's also allegations that he's got some kickbacks for this. Real estate developers and celebrities that want Rikers closed. There's no evidence that he's gotten any kickback yet, but there's allegations that he's in this for the money, okay? And he wants to get some of this money from these people. I wouldn't doubt it, but let's wait on that one until we see it happen. And let's watch the mayor closely. There's an ulterior motive in everything he does. Let's watch him very closely. Hey, folks up there, can you get him voted out? Can you fight to get him voted out of office? This is terrible. Another thing that's happening to the officers, they're being written up for excessive force when they're trying to protect themselves, okay? And I said, give me an example. Inmates are trying to attack an officer, so they're using their OC spray, which is a good thing to do rather than try to use your hands. That will protect you better, keep you from getting hurt. But they're writing them up saying you were too close to the inmate when you sprayed. You sprayed too long. You violated the OC spraying policy. And they're using that to write up the officers for defending themselves against inmates who are attacking them. Inmates are jumping officers, hitting them in the face, kicking officers in the head, and the officers at Rikers are told, you cannot hit an inmate in the face. Well, let me tell you something. If I'm being beaten by an inmate, getting hit in the head, getting hit, kicked in the face, you're darn right I have the right by law to defend myself. This is an aggravated assault. It could even be determined as a possible attempted murder. So you go ahead and fire me for defending myself, and I'm going to get me a civil attorney, and I am going to fight you to the end. This is wrong, folks. The inmates can run around free and kick you in the head and hit you in the face, and then when you defend yourself, you're going to get written up, terminated. This is dead wrong. Another thing the inmates are doing, as I was told, is they are saying, oh, we don't want this officer in this dorm. Get him or her out of here. And they're getting the officer they want, folks. Management is bowing down and allowing them to switch officers. I was even told that at times they're saying, we don't want a male officer in here. We want a female officer. Or we're going to do this or we're going to do that, threatening to riot, threatening to go off. So they put the female officer in and take the male officer out. Since when do we allow inmates to dictate to us who goes in a dorm and what they're going to do? Well, that's what's happening at Rikers right now on the inside, folks. I'm sure that when management took the mayor on his tour, they did not tell him all these things. How much you want to bet that they never told him all these things are going on? But PBA has told him all these things are going on. PBA has told him a lot of these things I'm talking about. Probably all of these things. He doesn't care. It's not about the officers for him. It's appeasing public outcry, appeasing the inmate population. He wants to reduce the inmate population, so he's letting inmates go free out the back door. And guess what, Mayor? That's not solving your problem. Just because you've made the inmate population a little less at Rikers doesn't mean those inmates aren't still going to pop their cell doors open, assault officers, spit on officers, kick officers, demand who they want in their dorm, demand what they want. That doesn't fix that problem. Moving inmates to another area, jail, or sending them to another area is not going to fix that problem. You have to get in there and provide the funds to fix all these cell doors, give the officers the right equipment, and get some more staff in there. You think these things you're doing? Who advised you that this is going to fix the problems? What manager over there at Rikers told you, well, we can fix the problem by moving some of these inmates out of here and making it less? Less is not always better, folks. Less is not always better when you still have the problem existing. It won't change anything. I don't know about some of these folks and the way they think. Management is the supporting of the mayor, of course, more than officers. They're working 24 hours. They're getting written up with zero support. Not relieved for their meals. These officers are working these long shifts. They're not getting proper breaks. They're not getting proper relief for their meals. Yes, we know in corrections this happens, but happens more on 8-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts when you're short-staffed. Maybe you're not getting enough breaks, but we're surviving that somehow. But 24 and 30-hour shifts and you're not getting your breaks, this is bad. This is making the officers physically sick and mentally sick. Female officers are sexually harassed by inmates. And I could see that when they told me that the inmates are demanding a female officer in their dorm rather than a male officer. I saw the writing on the wall there. There's some kind of harassment going on there, sexual harassment. They're catcalling, doing anything. Who knows what else they're doing. and these officers are scared to report it. The inmates are, I'm told, are actually not allowing an officer to take the post if it's not the officer they want on duty. Man, it's time to suit up when that happens. Time to suit up and go in there and lock these inmates down. Oh, but we can't lock the inmates down. Many of the cell doors don't work. They're just going to pop it back open. You know, the mayor, it's just sickening that, you know, I think it's 8 years now, and all of a sudden he wants to try to help. Yeah, help. You're not doing any help. I never heard you say in that video that you just did a couple of days ago after the tour, you never talked about the officers being assaulted. You never talked about female officers being harassed. You never talked about the faulty equipment within the jail. You never talked about any of that on that video, did you? No. Everything has to be pretty in the politics way. Yes, I'm using my notes. I want to make sure I tell you everything they told me. Housing inmates by gang affiliation. Now, I was told they are not allowing the inmates to be, they're not housing the inmates as they should be by classification. I think what's happening is here, they're scared of the inmates now, rioting and taking over. They're appeasing the inmates by putting them gang with gang, not trying to separate them or break them up or go by classification policy and procedure. Gang members, this gang is over here and this gang is over here. That is very dangerous. You know, classification and classifying an inmate properly is one of the most important tools we have for safety and security of a jail or a prison. And I'm being told they are not doing that. The inmates say, hell no, I'm not going in that pot. I want to go with my homeboy over there. And they're doing it. They're letting him go over there. This is just a time bomb ready to explode. You know, huge reason for staff shortage. Many people are exiting en masse. They don't want to work in that environment. I wouldn't want to work in that environment. You know, and if you think suspending an officer for 30 days is going to fix your problem because they called in sick one day, you're dead wrong. You're going to have even more officers leave. You're going to be in worse shape. The mayor mentioned that in the video the other day again. And we are taking action on those not coming to work. Man, is he dead set on punishing the officers. You can see it just by the way he talks. He never talks about what the officers are going through. He only talks about punishing the officers. What a rotten scoundrel that is. That makes me sick. So the officers need a break. They take a day off. They have to. How else are you going to get a mental break? How else are you going to stay healthy? How else are you going to get to see a doctor or a dentist? Another issue that I was told there's an internal memo on this. If there's not an internal memo, somebody please let me know. And if there is an internal memo, if you're retired and you got one, put it on here, post it on here. Officers are not allowed to wear masks and gloves, or they were not at one time, because it didn't look professional. If an officer wore gloves or a mask to protect themselves, they were written up. Now, that is just crazy to me. Look, you don't want to take the shot, that's fine. You want to take the COVID shot, that's fine as well. That's your choice. I believe it's your choice. You don't have to. But I also believe it's your choice if you want to protect your family when you go home at night and yourself, and you want to wear gloves and a mask, you should be allowed to do that. You got to be kidding me. It doesn't look professional. What are we at? Are we at an outside briefing? Are we having the media there? No, you're inside the belly of Rikers and you're working, trying to do your job. Who's going to see you? The inmates and your supervisors? I think that's just plain crazy and wrong. Officers have a choice, a freedom of choice to wear a mask and gloves if they want. Again, their hands are tied. The management and the mayor are playing semantics with policy and procedure, doing it their way, not for the benefit of the officers. Okay? Officers getting choked out by inmates, kicked by inmates, beaten by inmates. Yes, I mentioned that earlier. I want to say it again because it's happening and it needs to be put out there. By law, the officers have a right to defend themselves. Officers are scared to defend themselves at Rikers for fear of being fired and terminated. And you know why? Because they may want to move on to another place one day. The majority of officers do not want their record blemished. You don't want to be fired from Rikers and have that on your record, but at the same time, you want to be safe and secure. So they're afraid to report things for fear of retaliation, fear of getting a bad report on their record, and they can't get a job later on. Everything here is against the officers. It's obvious. Officers who report bad things that are going on or retaliated against, that's nothing new in the corrections world in many places, and it's being happened. They're not allowed to look at the videos anymore. Some videos were leaked outside, which, yes, you can lose your job for leaking a video, folks. You're not supposed to do that. But some of these videos that were leaked really are showing the truth of what's going on inside Rikers. They don't want the truth to be known, so officers are no longer allowed anywhere near the videos. Only certain management ranks up can see the videos. The videos show how one-sided it is in that jail. The videos can prove that the officers aren't the ones in control, and that was built and festered over the years because of this mayor and jail management scared of not doing what the mayor wants. Rikers is a one-sided story by politicians is what they told me, and I thought, wow, how well put. Rikers is a one-sided story by politicians. That kind of sums the whole thing up, doesn't it, folks? One-sided videos, one-sided stories, that's all we're hearing. We are not hearing anything about how bad it is for the officers. The officers are beat down. This facility, I'm told, is the largest minority law enforcement group there is. Yes, we have Latins that work there, and we have whites that work there. And we have African-American officers that work there. It is the largest minority, I'm told, agency. And other agencies outside of Rikers are saying they're making the officers expendable at Rikers. They are just using them and throwing them away, using them up until they can't work anymore, and then writing them up, throwing them away, terminating them. What kind of environment is that? Who in their right mind as a leader, the mayor, politicians, Rikers management, I'm talking to you, who in their right mind would allow this to fester into something this bad? It's very bad. I think I've got the message across. A lot of you know this is happening. PBA knows it's happening. They've told the mayor it's happening. He could care less. Let's give some prayers for all our brothers and sisters that work at Rikers. Let's pray that no one gets killed, no one gets severely injured. It is a time bomb about to blow over there, and Mayor de Blasio, you don't care. And the management is scared to go against your wishes. It's a sad situation. I hope I did the folks justice that wanted me to get this message out. I thank you for trusting me to get this message out. I thank you for trusting me not to mention your names. Get the message out, folks. Thank you very much, and please subscribe to True Prison Stories. Gary York.